Are you struggling to get your projects off the ground smoothly and profitably? So, Nick and I put together a pre-construction course, which may be exactly what you need. In a few lessons, we'll give you the skills to plan, budget, and communicate effectively, setting your projects up for success day one. Without these critical tools, you're risking costly delays, budget overruns, and worst of all, frustrated clients. Do not miss this opportunity to truly transform how you begin every job. This knowledge, this course, it's a game changer. Enroll now and ensure every project kicks off right and you're getting paid for it. You can head to moderncraftsman.co. That's not com, that's moderncraftsman.co. Click on the courses tab. That's where you can find the course. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Tyler, at trghomeconcepts.com. I can guarantee you that if you have a lead come in and you pitch them on pre-construction, you purchase this course and you charge them the price of this course, you will make it back day one, job one. And from there on out, it's an alternative revenue stream for you and your business. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, reach out. I have realized over the last few months that one of the biggest struggles for small contractors, for owner operators like myself, is consistent and quality lead generation, right? How are you getting your customers? How are you remaining visible for not only a handful of clients, but ideal clients for you and your business? So during this podcast, I'm going to help teach you how to build a robust work pipeline through targeted lead generation strategy. We are going to explore methods for attracting those ideal clients through social media, through content marketing, and brand building techniques. And we're also going to focus on how to differentiate your business. I struggle with that for a long time, but you're going to showcase your unique value in order to develop this consistent client base. And one of the last things that we'll dig into is to explore the importance of engaging within your community, networking locally, and remaining top of mind. So the goal for this podcast is to empower you to build a sustainable flow of quality leads and hopefully take your business to the next level. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me, Tyler, at trghomeconcepts.com. I'll reply there pretty quickly. For me, pretty quickly. Again, if you have any questions, just reach out. Do not hesitate. Do not be shy. I'm always around to answer your questions. I appreciate all of your support and your listening and your following over the years that I've been doing this. So let me know if I can help you in any way. And welcome to this week's episode of Midweek Modern Craftsman. So I was just out in Minnesota last week at Anderson's first inaugural Certified Contractor Summit, and I was asked to present, and I was presenting on being a value-based contractor rather than a price-driven contractor, and how I generate leads tailored towards a specific client. And so many of the conversations offline and even at the end of the presentation were just basically, how do I generate better, more high quality leads? And I started thinking, this is something for myself, 14 years in business, that has been pretty organic for me. And I guess I've just become numb to the struggle of what a lot of people face, whether they are in a market that is not conducive to this, whether it is just they just started their company, whether they're in an industry that typically is more price driven, where they find it hard and more difficult to really tackle that value driven model. But I realize that there's things that I've done over the past 14 years that have had pretty big impacts on my business to help me get to where I need to be. And in hindsight, I could probably do what I have done in half the amount of time had I know what I know now. And that's a pretty common sentiment within life and within the industry, but I decided, hey, I'll hop on a podcast and I'll explain what I've done to help generate the leads that I find most valuable and most profitable for my business. And I realized that this is, um, although I'm removed, although I'm a fair amount of time removed from that, and I've really been heading down this path of the value-based contractor for so long now that I forget what that struggle's like just from being removed from it. But I can most certainly go back to 5 years into business, 3 years into business, 7 years into business, and struggling with trying to generate the right leads and the right clients and wondering how to get there, how to shoehorn myself into that market. And I think that that's a common struggle for a lot of people in a lot of our industries. Um, and in order to grow, in order to be a value based contractor, you need consistent quality lead flow to get to that point and to achieve that growth. So the first thing that I want to touch on are the limitations of relying solely on referrals. We are in the industry, and I was brought up in the residential remodeling world where, hey, you don't advertise, it's all word of mouth. Your existing clients, that's what's going to create a sustainable, lucrative career for you. So I hung my coat on that for a long time. I relied on that. I relied on just doing good work, and that was going to get me the client base that I needed. And it did to a certain extent, but it took a lot longer than it should have. And what ended up happening is I ended up pitching or convincing clients that they needed what I offered, and it wasn't actually what they wanted. So I was using it to land projects rather than to land projects and charge a premium for them. I was just using it to sell the job, and I was still conceding a lot of quality and a lot of time for nothing. So referrals are great once you are established, once you're doing the type of work and working for the clients, creating the experience that you want for your business. Referrals are great, but while you're getting there, word of mouth referrals can sometimes be detrimental when you're working for clients who did not necessarily hire you based on the value that you're putting out more so than something else that you were to offer. Maybe it was your availability. Maybe it was your price point. Maybe it was for what you were willing to do for the price. Maybe it was that you were going to let them buy materials. There was a reason that they hired you. And if it's not for really the core values of your business, you're only going to get more referrals of the same type of people and the same client. So they can be detrimental to growth and really not help you at all. Again, word of mouth alone can lead to unprofitable jobs because of that. Because you're selling something that is not sustainable for your business and not creating the margins that you need, the profitability that you need. So it's just a bit of more of the same. And in order to grow my business, I had to expand beyond that referral network, right? Where I did have some great clients, I did have some great jobs. But most of them, even though they were great clients and great jobs, they were hiring me because I was giving them a lot for the price. They were getting a very high quality project for the cost of what a mid grade project would be. And that's not to say that the budgets were incredible. It's just I was putting way too much time and way too much equity of my own into these projects. So they looked beautiful. The experience was great for the client. I typically was not making the money that I needed to sustain the business, and I was leaving a lot of money on the table, to be completely honest. And it just more jobs of that liking came from after them. So I realized that I cannot rely on my clients to sell my work. I cannot rely on my clients to generate leads for me. In order to change my business, in order to create a sustainable model, in order to create a model that works for me, I had to transform the way that I was generating leads. I had to transform my business. I had to look at what I was doing, and I had to create a lead generation process and a marketing plan that aligned with that, rather than relying on my work and my customers and word of mouth to pitch the type of work to the clients that were ideal for me. So you have to allocate time to this. It's not, again, word of mouth. Great if you're already doing the projects that you need. You can sit back and maybe you can coast if the market's good. But if you want to get out of that, if you want to climb your way into another market, if you want to change the type of work that you're doing and you want to pitch to a different customer, you're going to have to allocate time, energy, and resources to this. You have to figure out what fits your model there. Is this something where you could hire somebody to help, hire somebody with SEO, hire somebody to run social media, hire somebody to get you on podcasts, to create blogs for you, to work on your website? Or is this something that you want to tackle yourself? I wanted to tackle it myself because I didn't have money at that point to pay somebody. I wasn't making money on the jobs. I was paying my bills. I was keeping the business afloat, but I didn't have extra funds to devote to a marketing business. And most owner operators like you and myself, we don't have a marketing team, so that's something we handle ourselves. So what could I allocate to that? And it was time. I was able to dedicate time to this, and so I really focused on branding and I focused on marketing. And I didn't realize that lead generation is just a form of marketing, right? You, through your marketing and through your marketing strategy, you should be generating the leads that you want, the volume of leads, the type of lead, the quality of lead. That should all be done through your marketing efforts, and through your branding efforts. And I somewhat stumbled into that, but I didn't realize the path there was so deliberate, right? Where it's like your marketing and your branding should directly affect and be shaped to substantiate and feed whatever your lead generation needs are as a business. You need those leads, you need that volume of lead, you need that quality of lead to keep the wheels spinning for your business. And that all should be done through your brand, through the crafting of your brand, and through the marketing of your brand. So for me, I didn't need a lot of work. I just needed clients who were willing to pay me a higher number and put more hours into a project to create a white glove experience and a white glove product. Um, so my marketing and my branding efforts had to be tailored specifically to that. I had to convince clients that this is why they should hire me, that my product was above and beyond, that it was worth the investment. That my right, if you're looking at a numbers perspective, my number may be more, but that there's value based on that number because you are getting a product and an experience that you can't get elsewhere. So I focused all of my branding efforts, all of my marketing efforts, all of my time and resources were allocated to creating that brand, creating the marketing behind it, and generating leads based on all of those values. So where did I turn to do that? Social media. I got on Instagram, I got on Facebook, and for me, this has always been an extremely powerful tool to do this because for me, it was free. It was a place for me to tell my story. It was a place that I could go out and I could take a bunch of pictures during the job. I could sit in my truck after work, and before I turned my keys on to head home, I could create a post reaffirming my values, substantiating my processes, and pitching my brand to potential clients or existing clients or just followers in general, right? Where they're going to engage with me and they're going to um, communicate that what I'm doing is high level, that what I'm doing is above and beyond, and that they wish all contractors were like this. So when a potential client, a potential architect, a potential lead goes on and sees these pages, it is validating what these clients are feeling. It's validating what I'm saying. It is really focusing on the value of my business and getting away from the price driven model. So I focused early on what I at that point did not know. I just considered it was educating my clients and differentiating myself. But really, what I was focusing on was the value proposition of my business, creating a sense of urgency, creating demand, educating clients, establishing that value, and basically crafting my marketing and my brand and my story in a way that if clients wanted what I did, they had no choice but to come to me. So the consistency in this storytelling, the consistency in my visuals, the consistency in my word, and the education of my clients all aligned with what I was selling, with the work that I was doing, and the leads that I wanted to come into my company. So now when I started establishing more leads and more leads started coming through my social and leads started coming through email, a lot of my clients already knew who I was and what I did and what I did not do. So most people were not coming to me saying, "Hey, we're just looking to get a price. We have two other contractors here." They already understood because I created the narrative and I created the brand and the marketing to back my business, to support the leads that I wanted to increase the quality of lead and to build a funnel that distilled a larger number of leads down to a really small, high quality volume of leads that want what I do. Um, so the goal for me, the goal for my marketing program, the goal for all of my social media was to create a diary of my daily life, create a diary of my business. This was prior to vlogs, this was prior to stories, where I could go in and I could tell my story on a daily basis. And if a client reached out to me, I could say, "Hey, if you don't know anything about us, here's my Instagram page. You can literally watch me work every day and see what we do." So when they went on there and they saw me putting down floor protection, they went on there and they saw me vacuuming the house, running a magnet around the driveway, blowing off the driveway, packing my tools up neat and organized every night, communicating with clients, the detail, the attention to detail that we were executing, they could ask themselves, are all contractors doing this? Are the other two people who we interviewed doing this? Is Tyler's project the same? Is his product the same? And I wanted to lead them to a path that said no. And then at that point, they had to determine, was there enough value for themselves to say it's worth it or it's not worth it, so they could self-qualify at that point. I have some very exciting news for all of you. The Contractor Coalition Summit is hosting a meetup at IBS and KIBS. So that's going to be Monday, February 24th, 2025. I know we're already into 2025. It's crazy. 6 to 8 p.m. It's at the Nomad at Park MGM, Las Vegas. So this is not a summit. This is not a conference. Honestly, this is just going to be a bunch of people hanging out, open bar, food, and all the drinks that you can enjoy. And you'll have extra because I don't drink, so you can have my drinks. Early bird pricing is live. There will be no tickets at the door. So if you want to go to this, you have to buy them beforehand. I'm posting a link to it on this post. Hop on there now. You're not going to want to miss out on this. Again, no tickets at the door. February 24th, 6 to 8 p.m., Nomad, Las Vegas, which is at the Park MGM. I'll be there. Nick will be there. Brad will be there. Morgan will be there. And a lot of other people. So come check it out. Open bar, food, great hangs, great hanging out. It's really going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there, and let me know if you have any questions. So the goal for me was to create a brand that stood out through exceptional service, exceptional quality, and just an insane attention to detail compared to my competitors. So I started on Instagram. All of my posts from Instagram would then go to Facebook. Um, and at that point, I wanted to diversify a little more, not super computer savvy. I think my wife had a LinkedIn for me for a minute, Pinterest. There was another one that was out for a minute. I'll think of it, Howls, for a while. So I was living in different worlds and I was creating different content for each, but I wanted to diversify a little bit more. So Nick was working with Fine Home Building. I hooked up with Fine Home Building. I started writing articles for them. So not necessarily from a lead gen perspective, but like I landed a couple jobs from Fine Home Building, to be completely honest, but that was not the intent on working with Fine Home Building. The intent of working with Fine Home Building, the intent on creating a blog, working with different brands, Kukin Brothers, Loctite, all of these other brands that I've worked with, Festool, over the years, is to create a legitimacy for myself, right? I'm not necessarily landing a job from a Festool ad that somebody sees, but when somebody who's entertaining contractors or looking for a contractor goes on and they see me working with this company, writing for this company, videos of me being interviewed by this company, it legitimizes me, it legitimizes my business. It helps build confidence for myself, but it also instills trust in these clients, right? I'm not this fly by night guy who's not involved with the industry, who's going to disappear. I'm very invested in this industry. I'm very invested in the craft, in the community, in the network, and the relationships. So it is really helping build credibility and trust for my business. So when you look to start generating these leads, when you look to start branding and marketing yourself and your business, it can't just be through one platform. It can't just be through your website. It has to be through social. It has to be through magazines. It has to be through partnerships, through vendors, through suppliers. As many worlds that you can live in, I say it has to be cross-disciplinary, right? Where it's like, create content that can live in multiple places and bring value in multiple places. It may be ideal on Instagram, but maybe it can also live on YouTube Shorts. So if you do that, you can bring much more value and leverage your social media at a much better rate than just creating something that's unique to one platform, right? You can create a video for YouTube and then pull clips out of that to post on your social, to post on your website, to write a blog about. So you can use and you can pull a lot of this content and it can live in many different disciplines. This type of content marketing is going to build trust and also allow any potential clients to learn about who you are, what your brand stands for, what your core values are, what your ethos is as a business owner prior to meeting you. I always ask clients, how did you hear about me? If they don't know who I am and they just Google search, or somebody, recommended me and they got my number, they didn't look who I am, I know that that's probably not a high quality lead, because my clients, my high quality leads know who I am already. So I understand if they don't, it's probably not a valuable lead, and they need to get weaned out at top of funnel rather than make the way down the funnel and me spend additional time and resources on them. While you're creating this brand, while you're working on your marketing program, while you're looking to establish more leads, you have to gain the trust of your clients, of potential clients. This has to be done through a brand that's primarily focused and centered around quality and value. Most of our products can be commoditized. What we sell, brands that we use, products that go into our projects. That's an easy way for people to level up and get on the same playing field as we are. But it is much harder to commoditize or mimic or duplicate somebody's process or an experience. So I focus a lot on quality from a product perspective, from a process perspective. Excuse me. Sorry. I had a tickle in my throat there. but also from an experience perspective, because I feel like that's where I can truly differentiate myself, because most people don't understand my process. They're not willing to execute my process. It's too much work. They can make money elsewhere doing something else. They don't have the patience, they don't have the bandwidth, or they just have too high of a work volume and client base to focus their efforts on such a small number of clients. So I understand that's where I thrive. That's where I can make money. That's where I can charge a little bit more. And that's a strength of mine that other people do not have, right? There's things that I do well that others do not do well. And there's things that others do well that I don't do well. I understand that, and I play my cards accordingly. I'm not going to pitch a job to somebody who wants the project turned around quickly, um, and somebody who wants the job completed quickly. That's just not, I don't do that. That's not a strength of mine. So I would allow that lead to go find somebody who's going to create a better experience for them than me. Because even if the job is a 10 out of 10 and I knock it out of the park, that's not as important to them as getting the job started and finished quickly. So I'll let that lead go, and I'll wait for the lead to come in that's willing to wait 6 months, 8 months. They just want the job done right. They've had a bad experience with too many contractors. The projects never got finished. They weren't up to date. The communication wasn't good. They had subs in and out of their house all different times of the day, nobody locking up, creating a mess. Those are things that I excel at, that I avoid at all costs on my project. So that lead and hearing this person's struggles are ideal for me. So all of my marketing efforts, all of my brand development, in order to generate the leads that I need to be a successful business, are based around that, right? So I want to generate as many leads as possible through my marketing efforts, through my storytelling, through all of my content generation, that they're speaking to that client I just described, not the client who wants something done really quickly. So I focus specifically on that client, and I market all of my education, all of my content, all my focus, all of my expertise on that, so that when a client stumbles across that and they say, this is who we need to hire, this is what his priorities are, this is what we're focused on. Once you do that, and you're moving more away from the online content generation, and you're just looking to possibly market yourself or generate more leads locally or organically, start to get involved with your community. There's a certain amount of accountability hiring somebody in your community when you see them every day, when you see them at the sports field, when their kids go to school with yours, where it makes it tough to run and hide. So typically you hire somebody from in town. They're going to go above and beyond to make sure that that's a good experience, because they know that their reputation in that small town may matter. So I always suggest to people to get involved with the community, volunteer. If there's something going on at a local park or at a school, ask some of the middle schools, the high schools, if you can go in and speak to their kids. If you can present at certain community events, if you can sponsor a Little League team or a youth athletic event, help coach your team, your kids' team, all of this. And all of these are ways to get involved with the local community to ensure that you are top of mind to them. Make sure that as you're doing this, you keep your brand and your values at the forefront. But it's a really good opportunity to hold yourself accountable and create visibility locally and with your community. The other thing that I always recommend is establish relationships with architects, designers, engineers, suppliers, and vendors within your area. Subcontractors also. My electrician's always in houses. My plumber's always in houses. He does not have a great, even though he works for builders, there are not that many builders that he's willing to recommend for certain clients. So when he's in clients' homes doing repair work, somebody he's worked for before, and they ask him, hey, do you know a contractor? He's going to recommend me. He's going to give my name to them, because he knows that I'll follow up, and he knows that I'll execute, and I'll treat my customers correctly. So create and establish and maintain those relationships. another good way is just remaining relevant through whether it's email, whether it's newsletters, whether it's flyers in the mail with potential clients, with people who have reached out to you at some point, with past clients, just to say, hey, this is where we are. Just wanted to touch base. Really enjoyed working with you. Looking to drum up some new work, looking to take on some new clients. If you are looking for something to be done, or you know somebody who is a similar client and values the same things as you do, please don't be shy. Pass our name along. You wouldn't believe how many people have a project on their mind, and you just reaching out to them may be the catalyst or the spark that they need to get moving. Where it's like, hey, you know what? As a matter of fact, we've been speaking. My wife really wants to get the kitchen going, but I didn't feel like making the call. There's just too many other things right now, but we'd like to get on your schedule to do that. So how do we get the ball rolling? So just remaining top of mind for people, for past clients, for subcontractors, for trade partners, for vendors, suppliers. All of those people are in the industry on a daily basis, exposed to all different types of clients, and just remaining visible and top of mind to them can do wonders for your business. So again, just to recap here, your entire business and the health of your business is based on the leads that you generate. If you're generating leads that are not creating a sustainable business for you, something has to change. And that something that has to change is not the work that you're putting out. It's probably not the customer experience that you're putting out. It's probably not the product that you're putting out. It is more so the marketing and the branding efforts that you are putting out. You are allowing and relying on word of mouth referrals. You're relying on your clients to sell your projects. And when your clients sell their projects, they're going to sell them according to what they value the most, which may not be what your business values the most, which may not be what creates the best margins for your business, creates profitability, sustainability, viability for your business. So do not rely on those word of mouth referrals. If you're in a spot where those word of mouth referrals are for the projects that you are already doing, yeah, that's great. That's amazing. It's not going to hurt to drum up more leads, but you're there. But if you are not there yet, the projects that you will get from word of mouth referrals will be the same projects that you've been doing. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So address your marketing, address your brand, create and shape them to support the lead gen that you need. And that will be the shift that you need in your business to get moving in the right direction. All of your marketing, all of your branding needs to be done to substantiate your lead gen, to create and attract the ideal client to your funnel. You need to be consistent with this. You need to engage with your community, and you need to diversify where your content is living. It's not just good enough on your website. It's just not good enough within your community. Letters, mailers, phone calls, emails, that's not enough. It needs to live in multiple areas. You need to cast a broad net and then work on creating that funnel and distilling that funnel to generate the leads, a higher number of high quality leads. If you're getting 100 leads a month and it's generating 2 ideal client leads and you need 4 ideal client leads, you may need to generate double the amount of leads that you're getting in order to double the amount of ideal leads that you need. So just think about it from that perspective. I encourage you to take control of the marketing narrative for your business and focus on the strengths of your business. Focus on what you do well. Understand that you won't do everything well, and you shouldn't try to do everything well. And there's people that do other things better than you. Let them have those clients, and you focus on the clients that you can create an excellent service for, an excellent experience for, and an excellent product for. Those are the clients. Those are the jobs that you need. Those are the jobs where you now can depend on the word of mouth referrals because they hired you for what makes you a successful business. Without that, you are relying on your clients to sell projects. And again, that may not align with everything that creates a successful project for you. Um, just to reiterate, for years, I used high quality execution, being an owner operator, you working one job at a time as the differentiator to land work. So there was 3 projects, all the pricing may be aligned. I was using all of my expertise and all of my strength just to land the project, which is not enough for me. I need to land the project, but it also needs to be landed at a premium. And so most of my referrals from clients were, yeah, amazing experience, amazing job. Maybe we spent slightly more than we wanted to, but at the end of the day, we got way more for the money than any other contractor was offering. And that was the lifeblood of my business for 10 years, 7 years, 8 years, which I just didn't realize I was using all of those strengths to land a project and not to capitalize my rate and my price. So now I use all of those things to not only land the project, but charge more money for the project. Now it's not, hey, he did really great work. It was a really good experience, really good product. Yeah, we paid 30% more, but it was absolutely worth it. So now when they refer me to other clients, it's, yeah, he was not the least expensive choice. We actually paid more than all of the other pricing. His budgeting was more than the other pricing, but we knew what we were getting and we trusted him and he walked us through the process and he included pre-construction. Um, these are what I rely on to sell the projects that I need to make me a successful business. And as soon as I did that, my business did change. My lead generation changed. I was able to use all of my marketing, all of my branding to back what I needed to support my business from a lead gen perspective. So I hope that this outline, these ideas here, help you move more towards a better lead generation and leveraging your social media to create strategic marketing to better and grow your business. Hop on the website if you want to see the blog. It's www.moderncraftsman.co. All the links are on there. Hop on, click on the course website if you want to see the pre-construction course that we have out. If you have specific questions to that, you're wondering, hey, should I spend the money on this? Is it worth the investment? You want to speak to me on the phone? You want to speak to me via email, reach out to me, Tyler at trghomeconcepts.com, and I will answer any questions that you may have. And as always, I appreciate your ears and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your week. See ya.